What's up, friendly neighborhood nerds? If you want to hear interviews from industry pros, get first looks, and have access to endless comic content, wake up. Please wake up. You're in a coma. Your mother misses you.
Silence scared.
You're live. Go. Take it away.
Oh man, what is with that hand signal? I usually do finger guns, and I just karate chop this time. I'm never doing that again. That's retired. But anyway, what is up, friendly neighborhood nerds? This is Judah Rad. Today we're doing another live from the apocalypse. We got a bunch of cool guests. We got Robo Strange. Unfortunately, Rhea was not able to make it today. Had some technical difficulties. We hope to see her back very, very soon. Today we got some cool guests. We got Christopher Jerome and Patrick Buermeyer.
What's up?
That's good. That's good. Yeah.
Discordia guys.
Oh, yeah.
So
not the first time the team's been here. Half the team we've already interviewed. Now we get
true.
the other half here. So that's dope. Welcome.
I know. I had to just watch that from home.
Well, now we have both of you. I'm not asking you individual questions. I'm going to ask you as a whole and watch you guys step on each other trying to talk.
Perfect.
So what is going on with the Rotted Liar and Apocrypha #1, Discordia Winter Special? What can we expect from those? They look pretty dope.
Cool. I think Chris, it's always better if you do the layout here.
Oh,
Give us
I
the
was so bad
logistics.
because I feel like I talk too much.
No, you're
So last time when you talked to Patrick, it was when we were kickstarting issue 0 of Discordia, which is going to be our flagship series. The Rotted Liar and Apocrypha #1 are two spin-offs set in the same universe. So the Apocrypha series, which is the actual winter special, is going to have all Patrick's art in this first issue. That's going to be a series of one-shots. So whenever we have a cool idea for a story, but it's not going to be part of the main overarching narrative, we're going to throw it under the Apocrypha title. The Rotted Liar is going to be a series where each issue focuses on a different country in our world and has different like nursery rhymes or poems or legends from that area to kind of flesh out the mythology of that country and have a series of guest artists. So we've got Sam Blanchard doing a story, Jeremiah Sheets doing a story, and then San Espana's doing a story, and then Patrick's doing like the frame narrative on that one. The college professor that's like had some divine inspiration, so to speak, that you'll see when you read it, that how he found out about all these legends and decided to share them with the reader.
So some inspiration, anyways.
Yeah.
So do you, Patrick? Do you do all the layouts, even with the guest artists? Or
So I didn't on this. No. So this was all them.
okay, cool. And then for both of you guys, what is the scariest? What is going to be the scariest story in this collection?
The one where I die, hopefully.
Okay, so so for the Rotted Liar, oh gosh, that's a good one. I think all three of them are pretty scary. The one called the Thorny Throne is going to be really good. I've tweeted out some images from that, mostly of just the throne covered in thorns. That one's got some really good moody art. Feels very early Mignola. That's the one that San did. But overall, I think the one shot, the actual Apocrypha #1, is going to be just hands down one of the coolest things that we've done. Patrick's been working on some pages for that. I've got to see some sneak peeks. It looks pretty awesome.
You mentioned countries earlier. I wanted to brag a little bit. If you want to know what countries they're talking about.
Oh,
good. It showed up. I was hoping it would show up.
It did. I'm gonna brag a little bit later too on the credits. I'm gonna make it like my profile picture, but I'll let you guys. I'll let the questions. I'll let the questions continue a little bit more, and then I'm gonna brag some more about the comic. So.
Sweet.
Okay, stay tuned for more bragging from Robo.
Awesome.
Chris, so we had I wasn't there for it, but we as a enterprise had a pretty good conversation with Patrick about his horror influences. What are some of your horror influences?
Oh man, so This question always gets me every time. I should like have a canned answer. In the comic field, I'm a huge Hellboy fan. I think I've read just about everything that's actually been released. I really am into most of Mignola's stuff. I really like Baltimore. I liked the world building that went on in those, and like having just like a really giant long form story that was still horror. And that was kind of my inspiration for this, is let's develop an actual setting that we can play with and tell different stories in different time periods and different places instead of just one compact narrative. But like more recent stuff, I've been really enjoying the plot that Vault's putting out. That is like an incredible piece of comic storytelling. And that has already had like an effect on just some ideas, and the way that they're telling that story is just phenomenal. For video games, I like horror movies. My like big open secret is that I'm really squeamish and do bad with gore when film. Problem with gore in comics for whatever reason, but like horror movies, I'm always like half cover my face when it's like really graphic. But I really love stuff like Insidious or the Shining with Jack Nicholson's a great one. But even as far back like when I was a little kid, I was really into the Universal Classic Monsters with my dad. That was something we'd watch like every Saturday night when they were on. So I've still got those on Blu-ray and watch those from time to time. And when my kid's a little older, I'll probably force him to watch some black and white movies, because I just, you got to respect the classics 100%. Too. So
gotta know where you come from. That's dope.
Oh yeah,
that's super dope.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You gotta have respect for Romero too. So. That's
awesome.
Oh yeah.
So just real quick, we discussed this around Halloween, but whatever, man. Every day can be Halloween.
Hell yeah.
Between you two, we'll start with Chris. Between you two, what do you think is just the scariest concept? Like, just to give you an idea of what I mean. Like for me, last month, I revealed to the other people on this show that the thing I find the scariest are old people standing in the dark corner of a room.
Okay.
I mean, that's a good shout for scariest. I mean, that's probably like a jump scare.
Yeah,
Ooh.
like anytime they use old people or little girls, scare the shit out of me.
That's good.
So like, what about you guys?
Oh man, that's actually I'm gonna let you go first.
Yeah, I like creepy hands. So in the same way you can silhouette like a far too thin old person in a place they're not supposed to be doing something they can't or they're not supposed to do. Hands are also really good. I think hands are creepy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, that's what
I've got two that get me. One is maybe not as much on a supernatural level, but whenever you have like a family member that's like killing other family members, always freaks me out for whatever reason. So reading issue 0 of Discordia, you'll see that we leaned onto that a little bit. That's just like a weird thing. But I really like aquatic based horror stuff. There's obviously some H.P. Lovecraft influences, but anything like the movie Underwater, stuff like that, I just kind of enjoy that like creepy, stuff that's crawling out of the depths because we don't know everything that's down there. I like stuff that's covered in like barnacles and tentacles, and that kind of stuff always freaks me out because I think the ocean is like so beautiful and also so terrifying at the same time. So.
Ace is in the chat. She goes, animals that stare at an empty corner and start barking at a random object. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Did you guys see that new movie that came out, Come Out and Play, where like the shtick is that the monster can only be seen in the kid's iPad? So he's got like one of those filters, and he's like zooming around spinning around the room, and all of a sudden it starts finding faces like in the dark.
That's just the same trope. That's the same kind of like movie literary device of the flashlight, right? So I'm in the dark, and it's the
Yeah,
flashlight,
yeah,
and this
yeah.
monster's only gonna come out when the flashlight hits it. So it's the same kind of bit, and that would definitely get me on a jump scare. I think jumps.
It looks pretty. The monster looks good too,
Yeah.
like from the trailers. I haven't watched it yet, but it looks good.
Yeah,
The design's
I'm down.
pretty good.
I think with monsters, with a lot of monsters, the less you see, the scarier they are. A lot
It
of the
depends,
times.
yeah.
It's like there are so many times when, as soon as I see it and it's this CGI thing, I'm like,
It really depends on the delivery. So like the new when the very beginning of the movie, when his face peels back with all the teeth. Like, if they didn't show me that, I don't think it would have been as scary. Like, if they had just showed the darkness and Georgie getting pulled in, it wouldn't have been as, like... I think I kind of died a little bit when his face opened up. Like, oh, shit. Okay,
Dude,
I'm good.
But even that is just like a very quick
right.
flash. It's like... You sort of think you know what's going on. It's a clown in the sewer. That's weird. But then his face opens up. But even then, it's just like a flash. It's like a violent flash, and then George is just gone. It doesn't like linger on it.
100%.
You know, I mean that's like the Jaws. What is that?
The Jaws principle, basically.
yeah. The principle of
Yeah,
Jaws,
that's
where you
right.
don't see the monster.
I think there's two parts of horror for me that kind of like I think there's the jump scare kind of bit.
It's something I can really enjoy, but was it?
Yeah, sorry, it was quiet. I didn't hear you. Go ahead, finish what you're saying.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, the internet connection over here is bad sometimes. The Insidious, like I really, really enjoy Insidious, but the red-faced demon is really scary up until like the final act of the movie, and then he's like running on walls and playing his little piano, and like some of it's unsettling, but you see him so much that he loses some of that punch when he's just like popping up over someone's shoulder when they're having the seance or whatever. So
that happens to me in video games. So I just started streaming video games recently, and which I figure, hey, you just turned 40. What should you be doing with your life right now? And I'm like, I know, stream on Twitch. And so, so I'm gonna do. So I'm doing horror games, and that's how like video games kind of work. It's like as I start the game, I'm like everything scares me. I'm like, oh my god! But then as the game goes, you see like the thing so much to where it's like, all right, let's go. I'm just trying not to like lose right now, but so
you're watching your health, not watching the monster.
Yep.
So we're gonna move on to some other things, but really quick, what's the has there ever been a not intentionally scary part of a movie that scared the shit out of you?
That's a good one.
That's a good question. I don't know. I think often I'm less scared by the conclusion of a movie where that's sort of supposed to be like it's all building. I tend to more be scared by the actual build, and I think that's just kind of because of what we've been talking about. Like once you're seeing the monster and once you know what to expect, you're no longer filling in all the blanks with your mind. And like your mind is always going to do a better job than any creator can of scary.
That's right. That's right.
Right.
Oh, yeah,
so,
for sure.
Once you know what's happening, I mean that's supposed to be the end, right? It's that final climax.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very rare that it's pulled off that is scarier than the climb.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah, implication can be far more terrifying than the explicit.
That's exactly.
I think,
yeah. In the chat, Michael Malone says the implied threat over showing outright horror.
Did I freeze?
Mm-hmm.
I hear you, Patrick.
Yeah.
You good?
And it's natural for humans to imprint the worst possible thing you can imagine in whatever like gap in a narrative there is, or whatever's not seen. You'll immediately imprint like the worst possible thing you can think of, and it's usually scarier than what some stranger.
Yeah, I hate to seem like I'm plugging my shit too much, but I just want to say in that same question, there was a scene I'm playing Blair Witch of all games, and I'm already kind of like heightened. Like I'm already kind of like, oh my god, this game is just fucking scary. So I go and I try to go up this hill, and there's steps, but there's like a glitch in the game, and there's a glitch in the game, and I'm going up, and my steps go too fast. They're like like that, and I'm playing the game, and I'm like, oh shit, and I scream, and I'm like, Oh, those are my footsteps. Those are my footsteps. Okay, never mind. Never mind. So talk about getting scared about from things that weren't intended to be scary. That's mine.
Sure. I just wanted to say on the. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Following up on the idea of your mind filling it in. There's a, I think it's an Edgar Allan Poe poem called "The Imp of the Perverse," which is just the idea of, it's kind of basically that idea of you're always imagining the worst case scenario, kind of that death urge, when you walk up to a tall, to a cliff or whatever, almost wanting to go far enough that you fall, looking far enough down that you fall. It's something very elemental about that.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, are we moving away from Discord here? I don't want to miss my opportunity to brag. No, I'm talking.
No, go for it.
Judah.
Brag.
Judah, are you not moving away? All right. So check this shit out.
I'm not moving away.
I don't know if we were going to news or whatever. I got this bad boy.
I was.
Yes.
Look at that. And then signed. So this is gonna be my retirement check right here. I just save this, and I get to I get to say. Let me see. I'm gonna cheat here a little bit. Let me see if I could make myself big, as we say. Yeah, I'm the main person on the screen now. So if you guys need to pick your boogers or do anything, you can. Nobody can see you right now. So this book, glossy, thick as fuck. So if you guys get this book, you're definitely getting your money's worth. The story, the art, check this shit out. This dude is straight up getting his. Where is it? Where's my left and right? There we go. Look at it. Look at it.
You got it.
Look at that.
There he is.
Ah, damn. But the best part, hands down, of the entire book, it is so beautiful. It's just gorgeous. And you see it, and you bring an eye, and you bring it brings tears to your eyes. Is the Robo Strange? All right. Let me go back to normal. Okay, we're good. Stop picking your boogers. Everyone can see you now. All right.
Yeah, hands back down.
No tubining on this show.
All right.
I put the link in the chat of the Kickstarter. So I highly recommend backing these guys. They turn out cool shit. And check out the Discordia Kickstarter. You could have a Robo Strange's name printed on a piece of paper.
It's there forever.
It could be yours.
Forever.
You could.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jeffrey, what have you done to this Zoom call, my guy?
We good? Is our connection good? It looked like we were having some hiccups there.
So just so everyone knows, we're streaming from Discord right now, and it's just a little weird. So, technical, it's a little different than what normally is. We're experimenting with it. I don't know if we'll do it again, but if you hear weird audio stuff, you can let us know in the chat, and we'll see what we can do. But it's just gonna be a little bit weird. So if he says something awesome, and I just go.
So it's not Discordia. I think it's the connection. I think they're having some connectivity problems with the choppiness. I think maybe. Yep, there you go. See? Yeah.
Oh.
It's just been a weird technology day. We woke up early this morning to go on Nerds from the Crypt, and Zencaster, the podcast thing that they use, was having all kinds of problems just booting random people, and
everybody and their mother had the same idea. Everybody on the planet had the same idea at the same time. Let's start a streaming interview YouTube, and so everybody in the world is doing it all at once right now. So
right, global slowdown.
Really
absolutely, no one had the idea to do interviews and stuff on the internet before us. So it is what it is.
Right? Yeah. Not that I'm aware of.
What you would call visionaries.
Do you want to go? Do you want to go into what we're reading and all that, or what?
Yeah, I would love to. So I wrote down the order just so it isn't confusing. So it's going to be
Sorry, crew, I'm
It's all
back.
good.
It's going to be in the order of Chris, Patrick, Judah, and then Robo. What has everyone here been nerding out on? And that can include games, movies, comic books, anything. It could be The Bachelorette, which I sort of have actually been watching. But whatever. So yeah, let's get into it.
I'm
All
judging.
right. Okay. So, comic-wise, I've been really into The Last God. I don't know if you guys have seen that DC Black Label. Oh my gosh, that is one of my favorites of all
Really?
time. I think it's got just such a perfect combination of like fantasy and just gritty horror. It's awesome. I'm really hoping that I think they have 2 issues left, and then I hope that they do more in the world for sure.
Last God.
Is Black Label just Vertigo now? I mean,
I
is
think so,
Vertigo just Black
right?
Label?
Yeah, pretty much.
I did see that they're doing another American Vampire volume, which on Black Label, which I'm very excited about.
That is so dope.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Who is this Last God? What is the Last God based off of? I'm looking the cover. Was this He-Man? No.
Not quite. I mean, there's some similarities.
That looks dope.
Well,
Okay. Anyways.
Video game wise, I just started Amnesia, which I'm like way behind.
Bless you.
Got cats like to live room. I'm like way behind the curve on that one. Amnesia's 10 years old, I think, but I'm listening to Zero Brightness, which is like a horror video game podcast, and so when they've reviewed something, sometimes I'll hop back and check out
What is
an
it
older
called?
game.
Zorro Brightness? Oh, Zero.
Zero Brightness.
I'm just writing all this shit down, and that way when I bring it up later, I'm like, you never heard of Zero Brightness? Step your game up, noob.
Yeah. They're pretty cool guys. It's a good podcast. So Amnesia's been a freaky game. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. TV wise, I think we're working our way through Mandalorian,
Of course.
but not caught up yet.
This is the way.
Is the way.
Yeah, me either. Actually, that's what I was gonna say though. That's the only thing that I've really been watching.
Ah, sorry.
Suntide. I think I don't know. I'm on like the 3rd or 4th episode of the 2nd season. Been watching it with my brother.
Oh man.
Pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Pretty
I
good.
just need yesterday's. Yesterday's I need to watch, but then I'll be caught up.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Same.
I haven't watched it yet.
I didn't watch yesterday's, but I as a Star Wars, Clone Wars, and Rebels kind of nerd, I was very excited to see a certain character emerge.
Yeah.
Right. I did see. I think I saw that part at least. Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of my brother is that for me, and so he's been able to fill me in on the 12 years or whatever that those shows have been on that I haven't watched any of them. He's like, oh, that's so and so from Rebels or from Clone Wars or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool.
You didn't even watch those incredibly long cartoons. What are you like?
I
kind of like.
I feel like there's a big difference
between.
between like quality of story and then presentation, right? And I think like if you look at the Clone Wars, if you look at the stuff, the quality of the story is there. Like I want to receive it, but the presentation is for, and I'm not sorry if you enjoy it, that's good. You can still enjoy it. But it is targeted towards 12-year-olds. 12 to 15 is like, here's a story for you. Yeah. Yeah. But and it's all like, you know what? I want to know the story. I want all of it in my brain. So I started and I'm like, let's do Clone Wars. I'm gonna sit and I'm just episode of that. My I think at the time I was 39 and 40 now or whatever. And it's like, I can't do this. Let me just give me the abridged version of it. I want the story, but I don't want to have to sit through the episode. So
Yeah, let's get that guy who does Dragon Ball Z abridged. He
Exactly.
does all those anime abridged videos.
But I heard Rebels is a better. I'm gonna try Rebels because I heard Rebels is a little bit older, maybe like.
Talk about presentation. Rebels is a much sexier looking show. Just like the quality of the animation and the CGI. It's just it's an easier watch for someone who might not have patience for like kind of the blocky CGI of like the double O's,
I don't know how long ago this was, but Ace, hope everything's okay. Thanks for jumping in and joining us. She said she had to. They said they had to jump off and some urgent family stuff. So hope everything's okay. Anyways,
No.
go ahead.
Nice. Hope everything's okay.
Continue.
So Patrick. Oh.
Go.
It's all you.
Yeah.
Oh, is it my turn? Sorry.
Yeah.
There's so much lag that sometimes I can't tell who's talking. The only voice that I have burned into my brain is Robo's, and then for you, it's like I hear a voice and I'm like, which of these mouths is moving right now? It's a little bit.
That's
tricky,
fair.
but,
That's fair.
Yeah.
We need
and
to
also
like
my
hold
brain.
our hand up or something. Have it hold up a pin, talking stick.
Yeah, I'm like,
Well, my
The talking conch. Yeah.
yeah.
my brain doctor, my doctor said that my brain was incredibly smooth. Which I
yeah,
think is a
it's the
good
best thing.
I
It's the
Sounds
best
good.
thing.
Like a marble or a bowling ball or something. Those are great.
He actually, I looked up and he was like, actually, my brain was exposed and he was shaving using the reflection. So
Oh, okay. All right.
so it's
Yeah, it's
useful.
very useful.
Yeah, useful. Cool. So, what am I reading? I think I'm reading what everybody's reading. I just read The King in Black, #1 from Donny Cates,
Oh,
and man, it's just so goddamn cool. I love it. I love that. I love everything that he's
Oh
doing.
yeah. Let me get this up.
Still reading. As far as things I'm currently following, AWA titles all day, baby. Bad Mother. We just talked to Christa Faust a little while ago, but I love that series. And I like the creativity. That's
Bad
coming from
Mother's
that
so
publisher.
good.
And then
Very cool.
it really is, yeah. And if anyone hasn't read it, I can't recommend it enough. If you like, it's like Taken, but it's a mom, which I think actually makes it better.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I already like
It's
the
like
sound of that.
Taken meets what's the meth Breaking Bad? Taken meets Breaking Bad. Dope.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's Taking Bad. It's
Taking Bad. Points.
Sorry, I quit. Besides that, I've been rereading all of Donny Cates' stuff just to get my headcanon solid for King in Black, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit more in a moment. But we're on Image's press list, so we got an early look at crossover #2, and with completely spoiler free. The only spoiler is that it's pretty good. So
Good. It's the only one I need.
Yeah, that's a spoiler.
I'm actually gonna give a spoiler in that one. It's gonna be that first page spoiler, and then I won't give any other spoilers. And then we get then we get canceled, and then we never get any more Image reviews. But I want to give that one.
Oh, right. Yeah, I guess
Worth it,
maybe.
though.
Yeah, maybe that's something to take into consideration. I don't know.
something to take into consideration. I love that. He's like, hey man,
Hey.
like, please don't fuck up
Hey,
this
maybe
stuff.
don't. Maybe don't do that thing that you're planning on doing.
I mean, I don't know. It's up to you, but it's worth a second thought, maybe.
Maybe. Last thing. So Mandalorian, obviously, and then I'm not really playing any video games, but I'm also reading the IDW collection hardcovers of Tom Waltz and Kevin Eastman's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles run.
Same.
Because a little while ago, we read
Classic.
the last Ronin, and it was so dope that now I want to read the entire run. So I'm doing that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Did Stan Yak do one of the covers for Last Ronin?
Ooh.
Or am I just making that up?
No, I believe
No,
you're
I
right.
think you're
It
Yeah.
was one of the variants? Yeah,
They
I
were
saw him
almost-
posting work in progress stuff on that.
So good.
There were like 25 variants for that
Yeah.
book.
He did one of our variants
So
too.
check it out.
Well, that would be
Kickstarter
good, yeah,
links
yeah.
in the chat.
Yep. Pick it up as an add-on.
It's fucking dope.
Cool. So, Robo, or as I like to call you, Sir Walter Robeston
Yeah.
III.
I don't know why, but yeah, you do.
I don't know why, but I can't stop doing it.
All right. So what am I reading? What am I reading? So I will tell you what I picked up this last Wednesday, and then and I'll tell you. By the way, you guys need to check this out. Definitely pick this up. It has pretty awesome credits in the back, and the story and the art is
The link?
pretty good too, I guess. But
The link to
That's all-
the,
I
that's
got
all right.
the link to the new one is in the chat, by the way. And I just
Dope.
posted it.
I did pick up. I felt tricked. I feel me and Judah were talking about this earlier. I picked up Null. And then I flipped through it. I wanted to see what this was about, and it had a lot of Ryan Stegman art in it. So I'm thinking, okay, this is good stuff. It's a collection of everywhere else that Null has already been in. Like, so it's not a news story.
You've been
So-
baited.
Okay.
It looks
That's
so
weird.
hot on the shelf though. It's
Yeah.
like thick. It's square bound, and it was like so exciting looking. And I'm glad. And it makes sense, right, for them to like catch people up to this character. But
Yeah, I mean, I had read all of it already, so I wouldn't have bought it. So I just flipped through it. It wasn't all. I was like, oh, Ryan said, oh, I gotta get this. I don't know why I haven't heard of it. I did pick up, of course, King Black #1. Still have to read that. Don't talk about it. No spoilers. And then Thor #10, and then Miles Morales looking dope as fuck with a symbiote on him.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
so 99% of what you and I have read between the two of us is from Donny.
Yeah,
just so
well-
you know.
We might be a little bit of a fanboy. We've got the Union King of Black tie-in. I don't know. Am I the only one who likes Scotty Young variants? Am I by myself? I don't know. I got MODOK #1.
I don't. I mean,
That's pretty cool.
I think it looks nice.
It's the voice. It's the inflection. Yeah, it's great.
It's nice.
It is a little.
I mean,
bit
to each
overpowered.
their own. It's cool. You're allowed to like things.
Yeah.
You just use the socks on your socks for your birthday.
Oh, thanks, Grandma.
Yeah. Like, hey, Patrick, what do you think about doing this in Discord? And you're like, yeah, that might work. I'm like, okay.
Close.
Dang.
By the way, now I know how to read the message I sent you. So I did the thing where I'm gonna be in one of their books. I'm gonna be drawn in one of their books, right? As an add-on. And so I messaged them and I'm like, hey, yeah, like, I hope it's cool, right? Yeah. You're gonna get a dope ass
Right.
death or something. And I'm like, all right, my bad. Can I get a whole issue dedicated to me where I just fucking kill everybody? Oh yeah. You know what? That sounds really interesting. I'll think about that. All right.
No, I said I just never followed up. I'm still up for it. You know, we can figure it out.
Here we go. Check this shit out. Dune #1. They're redoing some new Dune stories.
Ooh.
Oh.
And then I was gonna show this at the end.
Yeah.
House of Atreides.
But
House of Atreides.
related, because my brain doesn't my brain don't read good without pictures, and so I figured I had to read Dune, and I'll just get the graphic novel version. Hopefully it holds up.
That is what I'm reading at the moment right now. I'm trying to get through Dune. I've
The
never made
real-
it before. But
the
I figured
real
I have
book?
to before the movie
I'm
comes
with
out.
you.
The real book or the
I'm listening to
or
it
the
on Audible.
see, there we go. We have like different like levels. I feel like God tier is the
Yeah.
book with no pictures, right? That's God tier.
Well,
Forget
it's got cover. It's got
Forget
cover art.
There you go.
And then the next level is like Audible, where you still have to pay attention, and it's still the same words. And then there's me, like pleb tier, where it's like, look, well, it's not gonna have everything, but it is because we gotta have pictures in it too. So that's me.
It's gonna be clever,
wouldn't
but
call
it's
it-
still better than the movie.
Right, which isn't saying
Right.
much, but right.
I wouldn't call comics pleb tier. I mean, I think it's the best medium.
I only call it.
So,
I don't mean comics
definitely not pleb-
in general is pleb tier. I'm saying that if you're going to read a book like Dune, and you have to go to the comic book version
right,
of
yeah.
it, there's going to be a lot of things left out because they only have so many. Unless you have this like
Right.
tome, right?
How much inner monologue exposition boxes are in that?
Yeah, I
comic?
don't know. They'll do some like Jonathan Hickman thing where like the middle of the
Fun.
pages are all words, and I'm like, well, I could have just bought the book for this.
The spice melange.
I did get Scumbag. I did finally. I'm a couple weeks late on that. Scumbag #1.
That is. I'm trying to read that.
So
That's
good.
like the next thing I'm
Yeah,
gonna pick up.
it
I
is.
think. Yeah, that looks cool.
It's so dope.
And then
I
to wrap this up,
Yeah.
Michael
All right,
Michael will like
sweet.
this one. Well, half of it. I'm gonna hold up two. They're unrelated. I don't know why I'm just speeding this up. Something is killing. Wait, here we go. Alien, and then something is killing the children. And I know Michael and Judah are big Alien fans.
Maybe
Yeah.
you get both of those.
I'm not gonna lie. I bought this Alien book just because it's a hardcover, and I'm a sucker for hardcovers. By the way, All you have to
Same.
do is release Discordia. Here's a new Kickstarter. You guys love Discordia. It's the same book, hardcover. This idiot will still buy it.
Buy it
Shiny.
again.
It has to be shiny.
So there's two
Yeah.
categories.
Couple more issues.
You have shiny, right? Like foil covers, but then
Yeah.
you have hardcover, and I'm gonna buy both of those. But then you do a third release, and it's a hardcover with shiny on it. And my wife leaves me because like, oh, we can't pay bills again because you had to spend $150. Oh, you fucking idiot! No, all right.
I think that's
Alien
going to be
fan.
more of a trade once we get enough for
Yes.
the trade. I think
Yes.
that's where we can
Yes.
explore some of that.
And by
business.
explore, you
Which we almost have.
Yeah,
enough for.
100%.
Because it's so
And
and
close.
by explore you mean exploit Robo Strange.
Yes.
You're literally
Comics will
asking.
break your heart.
No, it
I don't
is.
know.
Yeah,
So-
I'm doing this joke like it's like don't do that. I would hate it if you do that. And then I'm like, I really want you to do that.
Yeah. Eventually,
Hey, real quick,
we're
from the
just used to
chat.
hearing it.
From the chat, Comics Will Break Your Heart just said, it was so cool hearing Ree talk about Dune yesterday. It was cool, and you can watch the whole thing if you go to our channel and check it out.
Reen
It's the most recent
Reen
video.
Glidis did a
So,
whole breakdown
did a-
on Dune. It was dope.
It
Nice.
was really, really good. Yeah.
Saw that on Twitter. Yeah. So that would be the actual easy mode though, right? So if you don't
That's
even
easy
want to read the
mode.
graphic,
Below,
you can't get the
yes.
graphic novel.
That's
just
it.
get the clip
That's it.
notes.
What's below pleb? I don't know.
Mhm.
Well, the
Scam.
Wikipedia
There it
summary.
is. There it is.
Well, Robo, I
we
think
can
your Twitch comrades would say it's probably
Yeah,
bot, right?
yes.
That's the opposite of
Fucking
that's the
bot,
lowest.
yeah.
Such a bot, right?
The lowest
Bot level.
NPC. It's it's an NPC
That's right.
status.
all those
Yeah.
all those the shark-eyed zoomers
Fuck
on
yeah.
Twitch right now are calling everybody bots.
I only know that stuff because the first time it's used, I react as if I know what they're saying, and then I'm like, Urban Dictionary bot. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, I have fucking bot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Buy some
Yeah.
time.
Load screen and
Hell
yeah, dude.
All right, we ready for some news or what?
So before, did you want to talk about this mask competition or?
Yeah, we'll wait for the end. Yeah, there's a thing that if you're in our Discord, we're gonna do some mass thing, but we'll talk more about it at the end.
Okay. Okie dokie. We are getting into comic book news. Hold on to your hats. So, first item, get this. Chris Claremont is returning to Wolverine for a new Marvel Comics series. Legendary X-Men comic book writer and creator of Wolverine, Chris Claremont, is teaming up with artist Steve McNiven for a new Marvel Comics story that will follow up on themes and concepts that originated from Claremont and artist Frank Miller's 1982 Wolverine animated series. The story will appear in a comic book offered exclusively as part of the publisher's Marvel-made Paragon, the Claremont Collection collectible bundle, which is currently up for pre-order until December 4th. Yeah, is the kind of thing I would spend money on. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd probably get me too.
That's
we'll
gonna be
see.
dope. That's gonna be dope as shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I could
Sil-
get down for
Silver
some more
Standard.
Claremont.
As far as my tolerance for superhero books goes, Wolverine is most of it, but my favorite. So
It's good stuff.
What's not to love? I don't think anybody dislikes Wolverine. I think.
I mean, he's
universally
yeah.
loved.
Yeah.
Where's Polly at?
Agreed.
Polly will say something negative about him. Where's he at? Well, actually.
Oh, Danny, I don't know if Danny asked
He
this.
was too tall in the movies.
I don't know if Danny asked this before or after I brought it up, but he goes, "Did anybody of you pre-order that X-Men bundle?" Not yet, Danny, but it's
he
gonna
said
happen.
it's
Probably
120.
gonna happen. So, whatever.
Interesting.
It's a lot of money.
Interesting.
Oof.
That's a lot of money I could spend on things that I need.
But I won't.
Hey, this is something that I need.
You don't need Chris Claremont's return to Wolverine. I think you might.
Man, you're absolutely you're right.
Yeah.
I don't make the rules. I'm just saying.
Hey, just stay in the facts. So, what we have coming up is some shit that I guess neither of you guys are really big superhero fans, huh? No.
I like I used to be. I'm not as much anymore. I've just kind of fallen into other genres, and when it comes to comics, I'm still like a fan of superhero movies and cartoons because I feel like that medium just captures my attention more with
Yeah.
superheroes. I don't know. I love animated Batman
Right.
anything.
Oh, weird.
And I really like the MCU. So,
Did you guys watch
yeah.
the Batman by Gaslight animated
Haven't seen
movie?
it. Is it good?
I've been meaning to. I know I haven't watched it. I'm wondering because I'm often excited by those and then disappointed. So I've been hedging
Nice.
my bets.
Same way. The DC animated
just
movies
waited.
always look so much better than often look so
We
much
actually-
better than they end up being. Sometimes
We
they
actually
surprise me.
interviewed the director.
Yeah.
One of the directors. Yeah.
Oh, did you?
That's right. Kevin
Yeah.
Altieri. He was on our
That's
show.
cool.
He directed a huge, like almost half of the original animated series, and he also directed all of the Joker scenes in Batman: Mask of the Phantasm.
Oh, geez. All right. That's awesome. Okay.
So Danny
He's
M in
really
the chat says Gaslight was fire. However,
It's fire.
Fire.
Danny also likes Suicide Squad. So you just gotta like figure out. I don't know. Just kidding, Danny. We love you.
Well.
Okay.
I love Danny, so I trust his opinion. I'll definitely check it out. And I like Fire. So Brunnhilde, this is a Marvel piece of Marvel news. Brunnhilde is coming back. The original Valkyrie will be returning in 2021 to do battle with Null as part of the King in Black event that we're going to be following pretty closely. As many fans know, she died at the end of War of the Realms. Fun story, when we talked to Cullen Bunn, one thing he told us is how hard he lobbied editorial to keep her alive. So looks like he sort of gets what he wants now. So yay, yay Cullen.
Nice, that's dope.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, how could you be disappointed when a superhero dies? It's like give it a year, give it a year and a half, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, as with Wolverine. That was one of the last big superhero arcs I read was Death of Wolverine, and then he immediately comes back in Old Man Logan. Or not old, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sort of. They just bring it.
Sort-
It's always a Wolverine.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that we talked with Heather Antos, where one of the things I asked her, and it was like low key, like directly from me. Like, you know how people do that thing where like, well, people say, I'm like, well, people are asking. Let me just. It was my question. Yeah,
I'm
people is me.
Yeah.
Why, if I already like read Marvel, why would I read Valiant? And one of the things that she said was that that the stories are different. It's in one ways that they communicate that is consequences are real, and if they kill off a character, that character's dead. And then we actually had this conversation in a Valiant group, and people were like, "Oh," and they were thinking like, "Oh my god, yeah!" Like if the character's dead, that they're dead. It's like a D&D tabletop. You're done. So it's good. It's a good time.
People are saying they can't hear me in the chat. I'm just
Yeah.
texting real quick.
People
can
is
hear me?
sketchy. Yeah. People is sketchy. Got hands. Michael
Okay.
can hear you. Danny can hear you. You're good. It might be sketchy side.
Yeah.
Okay. So this next piece of news is kind of redundant because I feel like we've already sort of talked about it, and apparently you guys are not even following it. So what I want you to do is I want you to talk about it anyway.
Okay.
Even though
Okay,
even though
that's
you-
fair.
Yeah, I mean that. Oh,
Yeah. Just weigh in with a strong opinion.
Sorry, I
No,
just
you're
caught
good.
up. I think.
Hot take. All right. We'll
Well, I was just
fire
gonna
off
say,
some hot takes
really
right off the gate.
Yeah, just really respect that that commitment to
Yeah.
killing your character. if you need to. That's where I just lagged. I lagged from that part. Of the conversation.
Now we're all cut up. We
Oh,
got
okay.
to laugh out. That's good. This is good. We're good.
Yeah.
The 2020 time warp.
Okay. Null is here. This week we were hit hard. I didn't write this. This is a little snippet I took, but I'm going to say it like I wrote it. This year we were hit hard by the King in Black with the King in Black #1 and the expected wave of tie-ins. So as Robo kind of mentioned, Null 1 is not a new issue. It's just a recap of previous Null appearances. I'm mad I bought it. And this is me scolding Marvel. Stop.
Don't
Stop.
Don't trick me.
But yeah,
They should have called it issue 0.
they should have called it issues.
There you go.
Man. yeah, so it's a cool event. And even if I would say this, even if you're not a big fan of superhero comics, this is like special. I mean, it's like kind of scary. It's kind of fucked up. People are getting impaled. This dark like all-powerful god from deep in the darkest depths of like the universe has turned his sights to Earth, and it's like almost like one of the great old ones from H.P. Lovecraft. It's like as a Thoth is like taking has awoken. So,
but as like
badass.
a medieval dictator kind of character, right? And he's Vlad the Impaler people.
It's actually,
but from deep
pretty
space.
Dope. It's pretty dope. Danny M says Null was dope. Starts at 100 miles per hour. Get in or get left behind. And
all right.
It's really good. So,
I'm sure it's good. Yeah.
It is good.
It goes from like 0 to 0. What's a high number for a car? It goes from like 0 to 300.
Oh my god! Yeah, that's
you guys go.
That is the high number for a car. Yeah.
Yeah. Seems high.
I don't think I sell any cars that go that high.
That's
that's my day job
for an airplane. So yeah, sure, that's really fast for a car.
It would be fast.
Well, actually, the McLaren
F1. So the way Donny Cates has been talking, has been writing Venom and kind of leading the entire Marvel universe towards this, has been in a very like. There's this conversation right now between a lot of the, I would say, older 90s comic book writers that and we interviewed Fabian Nicieza and it got a little tiny bit heated because I did one of those kind of like I'm asking for other people but it's really me type things again and it was hey, so in the 90s comic books were directed towards kids and it seems like the 90s that the writers from the 90s want that to kind of come back, that is the problem with comic books, that comic books are kind of ignoring the youth, the young crowd. And then basically his response like, bitch, you weren't there, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. He's cool, I'm just kidding. But if you watch it, you'll know what I'm talking about. He's like, actually, it wasn't just for kids. You weren't there. And I'm sitting there like, sorry, sir. But it's but my point is, Donny Cates is writing Venom, and it's the opposite. It is written for people who are older. It is written like some of the themes that are in there with Venom, with Eddie Brock and his childhood, and there's a scene where they kind of lead up to this to the kid being hit by a car and what happens with that story, and even going all the way to Knull and the consequences with. Oh, it's his little brother. No, just kidding. It's actually his son. And it's like, you're reading it, and it's like, man, this is deep. This is good stuff. Not typical capes and cows type stuff. So, anyways, I love it.
It is.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's one that I should check out then. That sounds like something I'd like.
I think it would be dope.
Do it. Just do it.
Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Just do it.
Do it.
I should. I'll okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not peer pressure. It's just your turn.
So this is big news. An actor that I've always loved this actor. I think the first time I saw them was with Hard Candy. I don't know if you guys ever saw that movie.
The name is familiar.
Hard Candy?
Elliot Hard Candy. It's really
I've seen it.
Fucking love
I've
it.
seen
It's
it.
about
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So anyway, Elliot Page has come out as trans, which is a huge moment for trans masculine visibility. Pretty dope. I think that the reaction from everyone has been mostly positive, with the expected negative reactions
from the expected crowd
in the cave, kind of screaming. From the cave dwellers, kind of screaming to themselves about it. But I think the civilized world is very happy.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean, first thing I said to my wife was, it would be really cool if Netflix would go back and change all of his credits, and they did that within like 24 hours. And I thought that was coming from a multi-billion-dollar corporation who really doesn't give a fuck about anybody. That was pretty incredible.
That's right.
Between and like listening to Dave Chappelle, and then like listening to Dave Chappelle and removing the Chappelle Show at his request till he gets paid. Netflix has been doing okay the last week or so for creators. Anyway.
My reply to that whole thing is it's like, do you think they really care? Do you really? I'm like, who cares? They know that it's still good news because it reflects a move, a progress in society, that $1 billion corporation who doesn't really have any vested interest in doing anything progressive outside of the bottom line is recognizing I have to be this way. That's right, bitch. Get in line, get in the car, or else you're gonna get left behind. And so I like it. I think it's good. Yep. I think it reflects positively on society.
What I don't get is it costs nobody anything to do that. Like it doesn't cost anyone anything to respect it, and yet there's still like where could any complaint about that really come from? Like besides just bitter hatred. Right. You know what I mean? Like
yep.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
But anyway, that's cool. So in slightly less cool news, how was that for a segue?
Good, smooth.
In slightly less cool news, Letitia Wright. Man, this one hurts because I really like her performance in Black Panther. But she is. I wrote my sensationalist little intro is Letitia Wright canceled with a question mark. So Black Panther star Letitia Wright, who plays tech genius and T'Challa's sister Shuri in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, had fans upset on Thursday night after she shared an anti-vaxxer video on Twitter and then began tweeting in apparent support of the position. And then I didn't write this, but also apparently the person that she was retweeting is also super transphobic or something. So yeah, and she's not backing down. She's doubling down. We have some of the tweets. I don't know if Robo has it on the screen yet,
So
but,
Letitia's last tweet before, so she took down all her social media. Like if you go to Letitia Wright right now, it says this account does not exist. It's gone.
Just gone.
The last thing one of the last things, I don't know if it's the actual last thing that she put up was, if you don't conform to popular opinions, but ask questions, right? I love it. I'm just asking questions here. But ask questions and think for yourself, you get canceled. And so she's kind of doing that whole thing where, of course, they answer questions, things, but then kind of plays on this whole bit about cancel culture, right? So there is a crowd who believes cancel culture is this problem, blah blah blah, and so like she's made a fucked up, she's done a bad thing, and what do? I'm going to revert to, I'm just asking questions here, and then kind of tags in, hey, I need help here to the cancel culture as a problem crowd.
And it would be so easy to be like, oh shit, you're right. That's kind of a fucked up thing to post. Sorry, guys.
Well, here's the problem.
I mean, I feel
check this out. Here's the problem, and I wanted to make sure we talked about this because it really kind of irritated me, like the way this whole thing went down. So Don Cheadle posted in defense of her almost immediately, right? And so that was also disappointing. But check this out. There is a thing on Twitter where you have to kind of know, right? And if you're on Twitter a lot, then you do know, but not everybody does, that if you like or share something, that's not always endorsement, to the point where people on their profiles often put that in their bios. I really started...
Right, retweets.
That's right, yeah. And so I really didn't get it until I started really getting connected with the whole comic book crowd, right? Between you guys and other creators, to where I'll watch somebody retweet or like, for instance, a shitty-ass Comics Gate fucking post. And I'll go, my first thing is, whoa, why does it say like on that? But then I'll go into the comments, and that person who liked it is shitting on them, is defending, right? And then I realize, oh, it's kind of like, all right, I want people to see where I'm interacting right now or whatever. I think there's better ways to do it, but I started to learn. I'm like, okay, just because I like somebody likes something, let me dig a little bit deeper.
There needs to be an acknowledge button.
Right. But here's
or like points to button.
That's right. Like, hey, I'm right here. But here's the deal. Here's where this is fucking different. Let me put this picture back up. If you look at this deal. We're gonna talk about the video for half a second because I think this is important, right? I have the video. If you guys have it up on your phone, just see it in about 20 seconds. But it's a screenshot of Letitia Wright's Twitter, and the original tweet is a retweet from this lunatic who is anti-vax, anti-trans, right? And one of the let me just to let you know just what level of lunatic this is. Tonight, this is a blurb from the actual video. That is not from Letitia Wright. It's what Letitia Wright shared. Tonight, I'm going to talk about luciferase, the ingredient allegedly being added to COVID. Now, somebody else puts in, one in one of the comments like, "Hey, luciferase is it's an agent that helps, whatever the fuck it does in science shit, right?" Letitia Wright doubles down and goes, "Luciferase, what does that sound like? Lucifer?" And then puts and then asterisk like an emote kind of thing. Opens Bible like, "Oh, you are insane. You are an insane person." Okay. And then plus, if you look at this picture real quick on the reshare, it's not just a reshare and then click enter, right? I do that all the time. This is not technically just a retweet. It's a retweet with prayer hands. That's a cosign.
Oh.
And so in the actual video,
that's an endorsement.
So to wrap this up, in the video, if you guys go, you can guys see the transcript. The video has been taken down because it was definitely harmful. It's an anti-trans video. But in the video, this pastor says, I don't know why I did air quotes, probably real pastor, he said this thing where it's like, they want us to believe in all science, maybe climate change is real, but for the vaccines and genders, we don't have to believe that stuff. So anyways, honestly, like whether or not she keeps her job or whatever is another story. But anybody out there who tries to do this whole like, "Hey, she's young and she probably didn't even know, and just because you reshare something," nah, fuck that. Fuck Letitia Wright. Hopefully she comes.
Yeah, there seems to pretty clearly.
So wait,
Fuck
real
that.
quick. This is not a counterpoint in defense of Letitia, but it is something that Comics Will Break Your Heart brought up that I thought is worth mentioning. When Chris Pratt was retweeting, not retweeting, but when he made it known that he was supportive of, you know who, you had like 50 fucking celebrities jump into his defense. I don't think we're gonna see the same amount of defense for Letitia.
Well. So here's the deal. First of all, I don't want to put words in anybody's mouth, but I feel there's some subtext here. I think we have to compartmentalize information. I simultaneously in my brain I can go, "Oh, a black woman does something problematic and we have no problem dogpiling, but a cis straight white dude has problematic views." And it's kind of like, "Hey, now that's fine. I don't mind," right? So that in and of itself, I can sit there and go, "Valid. That's valid. That's okay.
Sure.
Let's put that right here. I hope we can address this as a society one day. That is fucking valid. That Chris Pratt gets to get away with shit that Letitia Wright cannot." And then I can simultaneously, and then go over here like, "Hey, Letitia, you're a piece of shit still. And your views are garbage."
Yeah.
Yes.
Mutual condemnation.
That's right.
This is good.
Yeah.
But go ahead. Sorry. I'm talking.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I wonder if some of that is because, as like a kind of douchey, brilly white guy, maybe we all expect Chris Pratt to support, So maybe we're not shocked, whereas for Letitia Wright, it's like that really comes out of left field.
Well,
I don't know. I wonder if that has anything to do with it.
I think. Can I continue on that?
Probably.
So yeah. I think that there's. I don't know if it's racism, and I'm only speaking for myself, but I expect people of color to be more liberal or to be more progressive in their views, and maybe that's because I think that the right is inherently racist. But that's an assumption that I often find myself making, and whether that's maybe that's a negative assumption. But because of that assumption, I think there is a part of me that feels almost like betrayed and let down when a person of color has right-wing views.
Here's,
maybe that's not fair.
Here's another thing that is straight out of the conservative or alt-right playbook is to let people make their own assumptions. So here's something that Chris Pratt did. So Chris Pratt, listen, we'll say it right here. I do not agree or co-sign anything Chris Pratt does. I was disappointed. I think he's. Here's the deal. Check this out. Here's what you have to say. I think he's probably a garbage person. I think in all likelihood, he's a garbage person. But what Chris Pratt did was he played a game that a lot of people do when they're in an industry young. They kind of like, it's called plausible deniability. And it's really just kind of keeping your mouth shut on certain things. And it's a game they play. Jordan Peterson is the fucking king at it. I'm only going to say certain things, and I'm clearly implying stuff, but I'm not going to outright say it. That way, when you call me out on it, I'm like, tell me when I said that. You know, he had this weird common voice. You know what I mean? But it's like, nah, you're a piece of shit.
Oh, yeah.
But they're good at kind of like playing this game. Now, if Chris Pratt came out and said, hey, based on my piece of shit church that I follow and I love Donald Trump, and I think being gay is wrong, and I think it's a choice. If he had said all that, I guarantee he'd get the same amount of heat. But what he does is they play that alt-right bullshit game where, like, that's the church I go to. I'm not making any statements on it.
Right, and then that gives his friends that shield where they can defend him because I know him as a person, and he never came out and said this, so they get to still feel good about themselves, even though they supposedly don't agree with any of that shit.
Yeah, and I think it also has to do, and this is we'll end it here because I'll go off on a rant that I know that probably everyone won't agree with, but I do think we have a problem with normalizing. I apologize if this offends anybody. I hate that we normalize religion because that's why Chris Pratt also gets to get away with what he gets away with because it's the shield that, hey, that's his faith, and I'm like bro. Even if I was silent, even if I was Chatty the Chad Chasterson, and completely silent and never said anything, if I just happened to show up at Klan rallies and I just happened to go to Klan, it would be like, no, you being there is enough. That would be it. That'd be done. That'd be it. Yeah. But when we sit there and we look at Chris Pratt go to a shitty ass church that doesn't even try to be progressive, that supports gay conversion therapy, then we go, hey, that's just his faith. Fuck that. Fuck his faith. Fuck all of it. Yeah. But anyways,
there are probably I think it's safe to say there are faiths out there that those people don't have a hard time criticizing. So
that's a fact.
The shield doesn't. Even those who use the shield don't necessarily respect the shield.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
So Batman.
We had a good transition, and it's like
not as smooth.
So I'm not even gonna say that. Okay, so Geoff Johns and Gary Frank return to Batman Earth 1. In June 2021, Johns will once again join with artist Gary Frank for the third volume of Batman Earth 1, a series of graphic novels. And then this is a script I wrote for myself that I'm reading. That's great, and I'm excited to read it. ... But the real story is that Geoff Johns will be continuing to work with DC for the foreseeable future. There was speculation that he was leaving DC because I think he was about to start an Image series. He is. But man, you're never gonna pry Geoff Johns away from DC.
No,
he is DC.
Yeah, he's not done. He's not done digging up Alan Moore ideas and doing his own take on it. Sorry. I picked up 3 Jokers because I was like, all right, I've seen the hype for this for years. I want to see what it's about, and it was just mediocre to me. And I was very disappointed that they didn't do more with the concept. And I felt like he just wanted to be like, look, I kind of did a sequel to Alan Moore, just like with Doomsday Clock, and that I don't know, that rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah, it's like, hey guys, first few pages, like, hey guys, remember the Killing Joke? I do.
Oh yeah. Weird.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like the way. This is where I will get into the capes and cows stuff because I was a big Batman fan for a long time. I felt like he didn't handle the references the way that like Grant Morrison did when they wrote, when we had their run of Batman that had brought in all kinds of crazy Silver Age and some Golden Age stuff. but did it in like a fun way where it wasn't just like a wink, like look at all these references, but it actually like wove them in. And I feel like Three Jokers didn't do that for me. Not for me.
I would agree. So I'm of two minds. Like, there's the fanboy in me that immediately just likes stuff, and that's a
That's
very
fair.
real part. But I can't kill it. But then the critical comic book reader in me was like, why did I even read this story? What was this whole the reveal at the end? Like, okay, I guess cool. And there's the middle. That's 3 chapters. There's 3 issues, and the middle issue is literally just a bunch of zombie jokers chasing people, and Jason Todd ends up banging Batgirl, and that's the whole that's the whole story. Like,
I mean,
Yeah,
good for him, I
good for them
suppose.
both. That's good. That's good.
good for him.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Killing Joke cartoon where Batman got to do it. It's
Oh,
kind of this
so
awkward Joker
Yeah.
thing where every Joker story, somebody else has got to try to hook up with
Yeah,
Batman.
that's right. I
That
forgot
was-
about that.
that was awkward.
Yeah, that's
That
like
was
a
awkward.
weird.
Yeah, no
That's
matter
a
what
Bruce
happens-
Timm thing. That's a yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Just leave Batgirl alone.
I don't know
Yeah.
that one.
Pretty much. I mean, you got that reveal in Batman Beyond too. Like, yeah, we hooked up after the fact in that Batman animated series too. It's like, okay, Bruce, I don't know. He's
Yeah.
working some shit out.
Batman Beyond. Great
There's just
great
a-
shout out though. That's perhaps my
Yeah?
favorite Batman.
Oh,
It is very good.
That was a
Yeah.
dope
I'm
show.
Big, I like
They're,
Batman Beyond a lot.
Static X, the theme song for that. I don't know if you guys remember Static X, but they were a
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
NU metal band.
New metal.
Yeah.
You.
Aren't they doing a Batman Beyond's movie?
I
Indeed,
would love
indeed.
that.
I've always heard people talk about it, but I
Okay.
haven't seen any actual proof that
I
they're
think
doing
we got you
anything.
covered. Said they're definitely doing one, so it's probably happening. No. yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Must be true.
We got you covered as a garbage clickbait site. So.
Yeah, and everybody says it's gonna be Michael Keaton
How
as
dope
old
would that be,
Bruce.
though? That's why they say it, because they know people like me is like.
I mean, I'd watch it.
It's starry-eyed and shit.
Yeah.
I'd watch it. I'd watch it.
I would too. I mean, I'm a sucker. I'll spend my money on anything those fucking
Yeah.
assholes throw at me. So whatever. Just,
You know what? If you enjoy it,
Gotta
who
be
cares?
a critical reader. Tell them it wasn't good.
That's
Make
right.
them do better.
That's right.
I'll rage tweet.
Yeah.
I'll rage
While throwing your money at them, though.
have my money and make this.
How dare you?
Yeah. Your money says yes, but
That's
your Twitter
right.
says no.
My money's telling me yes. Okay. Before that completely goes down an even worse rabbit hole of me singing.
Yeah.
So Anna Diop,
Mm.
she'll be suiting up as Starfire on Titans. Her costume has been revealed for season 3, and no one in this chat can see it, but Robo's putting it on the screen right now for everybody else to see.
Yeah. This is so good.
It's so people were. I'm among those people that were disappointed that she didn't wear the cool costume. She didn't really look very Starfire-y. And so kind of exciting to see her all decked out, and she looks really, really fucking cool. So stoked.
Was that in season 1 and 2? She didn't really
Yeah,
have the costume,
she glowed and
No,
she
she
had
was-
did her powers and stuff,
It was-
but no costume.
but it was kind of
Mhm.
street clothes.
Yeah.
I know that I've watched a lot of that, but I'm not sure if I've watched all of the second
I think
season.
it got a lot better.
I wasn't
I
sure if
think
there
it
was
got a lot better in the second season. I don't know. I like it. It's definitely better. I would love to get an announcement that the CW is shutting down shop and that whoever made Titans is going to pick them all up and we're going to get a made for HBO series of all these titles. Because I think they did a good job. I think they kind of leaned into the name Dick, to where it's like I don't know if they were doing it on purpose. Like, come on, Dick. Like, and then it's like, ugh. And then the camera was zooming like, Dick.
But don't you get it though?
And I
Don't you
feel
get
like
it?
there's a joke
Yeah.
here, and everyone else in was watching is just watching like normal, and I'm kind of like, is this? You're just saying Dick a lot. I don't know what's going on.
Uh-huh.
Oh boy.
And then I'm afraid people look
Yeah.
at me like,
Yeah.
grow up. It's his name. And I'm like, okay, all right.
So
Funny name though.
Yeah.
I'm not going to reveal what it is right now because I have my identity to protect. But my last name is another.
You've
word
already
for
been
dick.
doxxed, bro. You're
so my whole life,
you're...
I have a dox. You know what? Fuck it. My last name is Wiener. So my whole life,
nice.
It's like everyone who makes a wiener joke, they think that they invented the wiener joke. That I'm hearing my first wiener joke. Like I had no idea that this last name was funny, and now this guy's showing me. So.
Oh really?
Oh wow!
Tell me more about my last
Never
name.
heard that before. Yeah. Yep.
And if it's like someone that I have to respect, like someone that I work for, like a boss or something, then I have to do the
wiener. Yeah, it's my name.
Like that.
There you go.
Yeah. So I don't know if anyone's gonna be excited about this. I'm like weirdly excited about it, but Top Cow is relaunching Witchblade. So that just continues. That's a thing that will never go away. So Top Cow Productions is relaunching Witchblade and launching a Kickstarter for the Complete Collection Volume 2 hardcover. The new Witchblade is written by Marguerite Bennett. Ooh, that's cool. With art by Ariella Cristantina, colors by Brian Valenza, and letters by Troy Pateri. The 1/2 preview issue will be a Kickstarter exclusive with a cover by co-creator Mark Silvestri, who will sign every hardcover and backer's names.
Why do you sound like this is the first time you're reading it? Like you put this together.
So yeah, I read it. I read it.
Oh my god! Oh, did you guys hear about this?
Because it's more fun. Because it's more fun if I emote.
No,
if I emote.
You are being sincere though. You're like,
yeah, people
that headline sounds cool. Like, and then you get to enjoy it with us. This is good. It's a first experience.
Let me live, man. You're not my real dad.
Sorry. Go ahead.
So Mark Silvestri.
That's cool though. That's very cool.
Mark Silvestri's an awesome artist.
I love Mark Silvestri.
Yeah.
And I love Marguerite Bennett. Did you guys ever read Did she write Animosity? That's her, right?
I'm not sure. I definitely have read some of her stuff. What was the last thing of her? I can't remember the last thing of hers that I read, but I'm familiar.
Yeah, she's a pro. I mean, she's good. She
Yeah.
always. I've never read anything by her where I remember everyone I read who sucks. Anytime I read something and it sucks, I always
Like,
the entire creative team is burned into my mind forever. But
yeah.
yeah. But nothing negative about her. So I think I'm gonna check it out. I think it's gonna be one of those things where maybe like once it's on Comixology, I'll read the relaunch and see how I like it, and then
check it out.
Maybe spend money after I know it's good. But anyway, yeah, that's the news item, and then this is we were kind of talking about it a little bit earlier, but when we were talking about what we were reading with like Bad Mother and stuff, but AWA or AWA as I like to call them, their February 2021 solicits look, and I included 5 O's in the word dope. They look dope.
then isn't it just dupe at that point?
They look dope.
Good point.
Shit.
So just listing some of these. We got the Redemption cover up on the screen, but then there's also so it's Western styled comic Redemption by Christa Faust, who we talked to, and I have to apologize to all fans of IFLC really quick. I was wasted when I interviewed her. I don't usually do that, but I was already planning on drinking, and everything just collided, and I was way drunker than I should have been for an interview, and I think it shows. I tried to do my best, but I was definitely I still haven't watched it. I refuse to watch that interview. I'm like afraid to watch it.
That's a good idea.
But
that's how it works out sometimes.
It's kind of like Stephen King rereading an '80s novel he wrote.
Why did I do that?
You want to be kind of new.
Yeah, that's a fact. Uh oh.
Stephen King.
Yeah, there you go. See, look.
But anyway, that was very unprofessional of me, and it's never going to happen again unless I get really, really. Well, no, it's never going to happen again. But anyway, it's a great comic book, and she's a cool ass person. So she's working with Mike Deodato on this Redemption. We also have sex thriller, casual fling by Jason. Did you just go at Mike Deodato?
I'm cataloging. I'm thinking. I'm referencing.
I thought we had
Carry on.
some juicy like
Oh,
like,
no,
oh,
no,
Michael,
no.
huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he's lovely. I
He
was just
snubbed me
thinking
at
of,
Wizard
yeah.
World once.
No.
We had my buddy Sam Stone, our buddy Sam Stone. He's a CBR writer on, and he always he knows all this insider stuff. And we did a live with him, and every time we brought something up, like at least 5 times, one of us would be like, "Sam, why are you making that face?" You know, like
Anybody we consider an insider, we just feel like y'all just have this insider stuff that we're trying to pull out. Like, oh no, all right, this was juicy. I'm gonna change the title of this video as soon as we get off here. No, just kidding.
So,
all right, clickbait generator. Here we go.
Well, real quick before we move away from Redemption, we did talk to Christa Faust. One thing I really like about the direction that she's going with her characters is, if I'll put the picture back up real quick. Boop. If you notice, Redemption is the center character, the one who's going to be a badass, is actually an older woman, and she says, this is her quote, not mine. She goes, women are often considered invisible after they've reached their last fuckable day. Watch the interview. That's what they say. And then so when you look at Bad Mother, same kind of deal going on. Redemption, and to where once you become kind of invisible to society, that's when you can be the most dangerous. And it's badass. So I'm looking forward to Redemption and reading about that. So
That's a good line. It's a very good tagline. Yeah.
I think my last fuckable day was like 8 years ago, so I can totally relate. So it's good.
you're still
Working on borrowed time here.
You're still definitely fuckable. So
I think. Thank you.
Judah from a week ago.
Yeah,
knows,
Judah from that.
No way. So, Casual Fling by Jason Starr.
It was like the perfect time for the line.
Yeah.
They also have Devil's Highway by Benjamin Percy, Old Haunts by Ollie Masters, and something called Man's World by Victor Gischler, who did not write my favorite X-Men stuff, but maybe he's good at, maybe his creator-owned stuff is more my speed, I don't know. But AWA only publishes awesome shit, so I'm probably going to get all of the number ones just to check it out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's that. That's definitely something to look forward to in February. And that brings us to recommendations. Danny, are you still in the chat? So Danny is in our Discord server, and he just made some recommendations while we were planning for this live stream. So Robo's going to list them all.
Let me, nope, that's not even the one. I will just say them out loud.
Okay.
So Danny, aka Echo Spider, from the Discord, read some good stuff today. Batman Catwoman #1, Strange Adventures #7, Deceased Dead Planet #6, Deceased Hope at the End, the World's End #6. I have not heard a lot of good stuff about Deceased, so maybe I'm missing out. And of course, Endless Winter #1, another DC big event.
Ron Mars.
Yes. Who's else?
The wonderful Ron Mars.
Oh, Glennis, welcome. Welcome to the last 11 minutes of our show. Thanks. No, I'm playing. Just kidding. I love you.
That was literally the last.
Oh,
thing
so
that
not
we
even
had planned. Oh, wait.
But wait. There's more. Real quick. So if you guys check out our link in the description for our socials, you'll see the link. One of those links is to our Discord. That's where we're actually broadcasting from this time. But in the Discord, we got some things coming up. Aramis is what we call our architect there, and he's going to start a mask competition. And so if you submit a design for a mask, it has to be something we can sell on Teespring. So it can't be like the Superman symbol or something like that, unless you own the license like Discord, and then you submit something. That's fine too. But I mean Discordia. Go ahead and put the image on the deal. We'll have a vote, and then whoever wins will get something. There's some details. The details are actually in the Discord. It's not my competition. But we're gonna then put that on Teespring to sell, and then you'll get something free. Probably the mask that you won. I don't know. But it's gonna be super. It's gonna be way more exciting than I'm making it. It's gonna be like, yeah.
Sounds great. Sounds great.
Awesome.
No, that's cool.
Before we leave, either one of you two, what is, and then we'll let Judah close out. What is the pitch for Discordia? Why do people need to go and buy this book?
I'm giving this one to you. You're giving it to me?
Yep, nose goes.
Okay. I think I've been using this metaphor whenever I've been talking about creative stuff recently, and so I hope I'm not abusing it at this point. But I think because it has a lot of love in it. It's got a lot of attention to detail. There's a ton of world building, and I feel like it creates a pretty immersive and rewarding experience, which I think that there's not enough of. I think a lot of things, even things that I really like, come across a little superficial sometimes. And even like, yeah, I think it's, at least what I'm hoping is that we can build something rich enough that you can enjoy every bit of it, even like the small stuff. And then it's the kind of thing that you'll keep thinking about after you've read it and get like a refresh of enjoyment out of that. So at least that's what I'm hoping people can get from it. Also, it's fun, it's scary, it's gory. Hopefully it looks okay. You know, that kind of stuff.
It's awesome. Here's a question for you, Chris, before we close out. Do you have an end to the story in mind, like how things are going to wrap up? Or is your idea for this world an endless world?
Yes. So for the main Discordia, I do.
I'm sorry, go ahead. I think it was some lag. Go ahead.
Sorry, it cut out again.
I think we're good. Go ahead. You said that for the main Discordia, you do have one.
Yeah, so for basically what I'm thinking of is like volume 1 of the main Discordia. I've got an outline, I've got a full story that will have an endpoint, but then that'll leave us places where we can do a volume 2, and then we've got all the other pockets of the world we can explore. So in my other creative passion that I do, I'm actually a fantasy novelist. And I like the idea of a world going on, even though stories, to be good, should have a beginning, middle, and end, and not just go on indefinitely, because then they start to lose steam. But your world can go on indefinitely. You just got to find the right story to keep telling in the world. So yes, this story that we're starting in the actual issue 1 of Discordia has an endpoint, but the world itself, I think we could play in as long as we don't get tired of it.
That's dope. You got anything else, Judah?
Yeah, and that's sort of the idea behind this next Kickstarter that we're doing in and around.
That's dope. That's super dope. Yeah, I'm super excited to see what else comes out.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, want to
Awesome.
thank you guys for joining us. It was awesome to have you, and your work is. I'm not just saying this because you're on the show. You guys are doing fucking awesome work, and everyone really needs to check it out.
Sweet, guys, appreciate it.
Thank you. That's awesome.
If anyone in the chat wants to see more IFLC stuff, well, there's quite a bit of it. Check it out. We're doing interviews every week. We got we're still building our schedule for the next month or so, but there's a lot of, you can see what we've been doing in the Creators Talk playlist. Make sure you check out Respawn and Glynis are doing a Dune series that's pretty fucking dope. It's HBO quality analysis, seriously. And check out Robo Strange on what's that thing the kids do? Twitch. Twitch. Yeah.
I'm streaming on Twitch and YouTube.
Hello, fellow youth.
and the whole time I'm like, how's this? What the? Did I kill him? How's this?
Why do I keep turning around?
Ben, what? Change the input. Come change the input for me, and then once I'm going, it's fun. It's good. It's good.
You got the rabbit ears in the right
That's
place.
right. They
you can do
glow,
whatever.
and it's great. All right, guys, ladies, gentlemen, and NBs, that is the end of our show. Thank you so much to the Discordia crew for coming out. We are done. Don't forget to wash your hands. Remember, everything is not done. This is the new norm, so continue to wear your masks and shame those who don't. That's the only way we can go forward. We are